Our next inductee is Ed Lehotak. And before I get him up here, Ed was wondering what I was going to say about him. And the first time I met Ed was probably 1997, somewhere in there. I didn't know him. I knew he had coached at Gross, and then he was over here at Bellevue. And I had coached softball at St. Peter and Paul. And we had a really good 7th, 8th grade team. And we dominated CYO, and I wanted to see how good we were against like club teams. So I got us into the Omaha City tournament. I didn't know much about that level of softball. So I called Ed and I said, do you have any tips, any ideas for me? Here's what Ed did. He came down and ran a practice for us down at Sun Valley. He came down, he brought a pitcher with him, and because my girls had never seen that quality of pitching. And he stayed for a good hour and a half with my girls. And I knew then that this was a good guy. So ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the video board for Ed Lehotak.
Ed Lehotak, softball coach, 1997 to 2009. Ed Lehotak was responsible for establishing the softball program and coached for 13 years, from their debut season in 1997 until taking over athletic director duties full-time at the conclusion of the 2009 season. During his run as head coach, Ed compiled a 471 and 222 record for a .68 winning percentage. Under his guidance, Bellevue won a total of 14 MCAC championships, reached the NAIA regional tournament 11 times, and qualified for the national tournament in 1998, 2000, and in 2007. For his part, Ed was named MCAC Coach of the Year 4 times, earning the distinction in 1999, 2002, 2007, and 2009. Under his direction, Bruin student athletes won numerous conference and national awards, among them 15 NAIA All-Americans, 4 NFCA All-Americans, 16 NFCA All-Region, the 2005 NAIA Regional Player of the Year, 6 MCAC Players of the Year, 3 MCAC Pitchers of the Year, 5 MCAC Newcomers of the Year, and 13 Daktronic NAIA Scholar Athletes. Ed has been married to his wife Peggy for 30 years. He has 3 children, Michaela, Carrie, and Amanda, and 3 grandchildren.
In our conference, we had to add another sport, and softball was the first one we thought of. Talking to Ron Pitek, the newspaper writer, the Bellevue Leader, and Ron said, I know a coach that coaches girls softball, and he's really, really good, but I don't know if he'd be interested. And at that time, Ed Lehotak had his own company, so I went down and visited with him, and after a couple times down there, he decided that he'd keep the business and start the softball team. At the time I hired him, I said, if you win 50% of your games, I'd be really, really happy. Well, Ed won the conference and just missed the national tournament. So I was really pleased with the way he recruited and the way he coached.
I have quite a long history with Ed. I've known him for many, many years. I actually played for him in high school. I played for him in travel ball and 2 years here at Bellevue. Past that, I coached with him for 8 years. Ed is deserving of the Hall of Fame award, not because of the records or the championships. He's deserving because of the impact he had on his players. He had a knack for pushing players to exceed their own expectations. When you thought you couldn't do something, he pushed you, and then you realized, oh my gosh, I did what I never thought I could do. Players who maybe didn't always have the highest skill level or the highest talent, they just reached for the stars when they played for him. He got you to believe in yourself. Ed understood what the bigger picture of all this is all about, and in my mind, that's what makes him a Hall of Fame candidate.
But as a coach, Ed was great. He would do things that nobody else would try, squeeze a person in. He had a rapport with the girls that nobody else had. The families that followed him was unbelievable. There was always at least 5 or 6 families at every game away when I used to go to them. So as a coach, I was so lucky to get him. So I'm really happy that they're putting him in the Hall of Fame.
Ed was a hard-nosed coach, but the fun thing is every player that played for him genuinely knew he cared for them and cared for the program. Not many people know, but in his time here coaching at Bellevue, he never had one player transfer to another school to play softball, which in these days with the transfer portal and everything, I think that's a pretty incredible accomplishment. And it just goes to show how much everybody truly loved playing for him and respected him.
I've watched a lot of baseball coaches and softball coaches give signals, and Ed probably is the worst signal caller ever. All he did was put his 2 fingers out, and that was it. And I couldn't understand how those girls could understand anything.
When the alumni get together, we're always still trying to answer the questions we were asked time and time again in the batter's box. One that's frequently brought up is there something up there I don't know about? Do you know it's the round yellow one? And my personal favorite and motivator was, would you like me to get you a pinch hitter? And you know, I always thought I'm standing in this circle and I've got a bat. I thought I was ready, but maybe not. He had different ways of motivating players, but my gosh, it worked, and we got in there and we were ready to go, and sometimes ready to take the world by storm and sometimes ready just to prove him wrong. And those are the kind of things we laugh about now and go back years and still talk about.
Well, Ed, I think you deserve this because, again, you're one of the best coaches we've had at this university. You've taken a group of ladies and turned them into athletes, turned them into scholars. You've developed these women that come back to the university, and you're a winner. There's no doubt about it. The times that I spent at the national tournament with you and the girls that come back and see you, I think that's all you need for the Hall of Fame. So I congratulate you, and I would like to say that Tim, your assistant coach, also was there with you, so I hope he's in the crowd today.
Ed, congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. It could not be more deserved. I personally want to thank you for being my coach and mentor for all of these years. And I truly value the relationship that we have built since I was a young kid to now a grown adult. Congratulations. I hope you have a great evening.
Please welcome Hall of Fame member Ed Lehotak.
I won't steal Marcia's thunder, so I will not take that much time, I promise you. I do want to congratulate the 4 before me. Congratulations, all well-deserved coming in. I think to get into the Hall of Fame, you should deserve it. And I have to admit, I question whether or not I do deserve it. And let me explain why. I started the program 13 years ago, and over the course of 13 years, we won 481 games. Coach Cimino took my place. She ended this year with 13 years. She now has 486 wins. That makes me the losingest softball coach in Bellevue history. But since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and take it. Some thank yous, and I know I'll probably miss some people, but first of all, Coach Mosser, thank you. You took a risk in hiring me. I think it paid off. I hope you think so, and I'll always appreciate that. Tim Cady is not here tonight. He's a gentleman who coached with me youth ball, high school ball, and college for a long, long time, and I really missed him. I haven't seen him in quite a while. He has a few health issues. Michaela Cimino coached as an assistant for the first 2 years here at Bellevue before she went off to UNO. I had a lot of youth coaches, one who's here tonight, Bill Wackler. We coached together for a lot of years. I learned a lot from him. I appreciate that. My birthday, not that you care, is March 11th. Our wedding anniversary is March 14th. For 13 years, I was never home for my birthday or our anniversary because of spring trips down to Florida with the softball team. So Peggy, thank you for being so understanding and not killing me for always being gone for those times. All my family and friends that are here, it's very humbling to see how many of you have shown up. I was really stunned by the number. Thank you. It's really well appreciated. And of course, all the athletes that played for me over the years, I thank them for allowing me to coach them. A lot of them are here tonight. In fact, tonight we have, I believe, 3 first-team All-Americans here. Carrie, Mandy, Lindsay, they're all here. Am I missing somebody? No, I don't think so. I can't remember. Okay. Coach Massa kind of stole my thunder, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. When he and I agreed to do the softball team, I asked him what his expectations were. And he said, you know, in your very first year, if you can win 10 to 12, 15 games, that'd be great. And at the end of 4 years, if you can make the conference tournament, that would be very successful. Our first year, we won 31, lost 16. We won the regular season conference title by beating the College of St. Mary's. Back then, you had to go through a sectional. We finished second. We got an at-large bid to regionals down in Columbia, Missouri. And by the way, we had 11 players on the team. Quite frankly, it's 10 and a half. Kathy Hugg broke her finger. She couldn't hit, our best hitter. We were the number 7 seed, played Culver Stockton, and they took a look at us and said, what is this? Why are they even here? 5-2 later, Bellevue, they found out why we were there. And then we ran out of steam and got knocked out, which was fine. Our second year, we went to Sioux Center, Iowa, and we had to come through the losers bracket. We played the University of Mary about, I think it was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. We were down 7-0 in the 5th inning. They almost 8-runned us, the mercy rule. Mandy Dyson, I can't remember your married name, so anyways, Mandy Dyson who's here. She comes to the plate at the bottom of the 5th inning, and I told her, Mandy, I don't care how you do it. You get hit in the butt, take a walk, base hit, you come back, we're going to win this game. First pitch, she drives a line drive down the third base line. She gives me the high sign. We scored 5 runs that inning, made it 7-5. Bottom of the 7th, we come up, we had bases loaded, 2 outs, and Chris Anchihal, who is also in the Hall of Fame, had a screaming line drive that never got more than 10 inches off the ground, bounced in front of the little second baseman, knocked her on her butt. We score, game over, we go to nationals. It was we go on to play Concordia in 2 more if game. An if game, we won the first one 6-4. And in the if game, and this is about 1:30 in the morning, we had to get this in. We were ahead 6-4 in the 7th inning, and a gal named Jamie Echternot was on the mound, and I asked Coach Cimino, Coach Lehotak at the time, I said, is Carrie Witherspoon ready? Is she ready to go to relieve? She said, I'll go check. Well, this kid hits a double. Oh, great. While she's waiting to find out if Carrie's ready or not, the next kid comes up, hits a double. So now it's 6-5, no outs. uh-oh, we're running out of steam real fast. So I make the pitching change, call the team together, and I told them, I don't care if she scores. If they tie it up, we have to go all night. It doesn't matter. We cannot have a second base runner. Okay. The coach from Concordia, because I was convinced he would bunt the gal down to third, which made sense in softball. He doesn't. 3 pitches later, strike out. The number 3 hitter comes up, 4 pitches later, strikeout. The number 4 hitter comes up, and I can't remember the exact pitch count, hits a hard grounder past the pitcher, Carey, and Mandy Dyson, my second baseman, backhands it, wheels, turns, throws it, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, we're going to nationals in our second year. So, the thing I did want to bring up, the best game I felt that really helped the program and was one of the best games I had the most fun was, every fall we would play in a tournament, and we were playing Creighton University's tournament out at Kelly Tranquility Fields, and Creighton, being cheapos, would not put up temporary fast pitch fences, which back then were about 200 feet. So we're playing in a slow pitch field. The fences are 300 feet. So we're playing the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and they had their top unit out there, their number 1 pitcher, everything. First inning, they scored 2 runs, and they bombed the ball. I mean, they hit it as far as you can. So this next inning, I told the outfielders, back up as far as you can. They did. The Cornhuskers kept bombing the ball. We kept catching them. We scored 2 runs in the 3rd inning to tie it up. Stays this way. We get to, I think it was the 6th inning. We have runners at 1st and 3rd. And back then, the Cornhuskers did not play small ball. Everything was hit, hit, hit. So I'm looking at the 3rd baseman. I think, they're not ready for this. We had runners at 1st and 3rd, called a suicide squeeze. The bunt goes down. The 3rd baseman cocks her head and goes, what? Like, what's this? So she runs up, and of course the run's going to score. She picks up the ball, launches it to the right field corner. The runner from 1st scores. Now we have a runner in 3rd. The next young lady, I can't remember who it was to be honest, gets a base hit. We are up 5-2. Bottom of the 7th, here come the Cornhuskers. First batter, boom. Second batter, and we catch it. Second batter, boom, we catch that one. 3rd batter, boom, we catch that. We win. A few years later, I run into Rhonda Ravel, the head coach. And I always teased her about how we beat them. Little NAI beats the big bad Cornhuskers. And she says, well, you know, Ed, if they'd have had legitimate fences, we'd have hit 2, maybe 3 home runs. I said, Rhonda, no, that's not true. You would have hit 10 or 12. And that leads me to the next part. And I think the players can tell, I never was one for long speeches after games. Never went to the outfield for 15, 20 minutes. Most of my talks are 2 or 3 minutes. And I had 2, in my mind, memorable talks. One was after the Cornhusker game. The team was wildly excited. Jumping up and down, they're happy, you know, they had to be, right? So I go back to the outfield and I said, ladies, calm down, calm down. Don't you understand something? They're like, what? Don't you know when you have to play them again? You've never seen so many faces drop. When? I said, never. Never, ever. You will always be 1-0 against the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers. The second talk that I remember wasn't quite so fun. We were down to Pittsburgh, Kansas playing, and the team was playing very, very poorly. And it was one of the longer talks I had. It probably lasted 3 minutes, maybe 4, I don't know. And I was so frustrated, I finally said, you know what? Why don't we all go and do what you people do best? Go eat buckets of ice cream. They never let me forget it. Every time we went anywhere, we can stop and get buckets of ice cream? No. Anyway, the thing I remember the most as I wrap this up is the relationships. It's the relationships I had with other coaches, not just the coaches at Bellevue University, Coach Mosser, of course, the coaches that I competed against, but mainly the players, the athletes. It meant the world to me that I was allowed to coach them. I enjoyed it immensely. Sounds like from what I'm hearing tonight, they enjoyed it too. And I appreciate the ones that played for me to come back. I thank you all so much, and that's all I got. Thank you.